Parshas Truma is very overwhelming. There are so many halachos, tedious halachos, that discuss in great detail the construction of the Mishkan. Perhaps we would have a reprieve when it comes to the building of the Menorah. After all, Chazal teach us that Moshe Rabbeinu was quite perplexed. He wasn't able to understand the building of the Menorah, and therefore HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Moshe Rabbeinu, my dear Moshe, throw the menorah, throw this block of gold into the fire, and ultimately the menorah will almost build itself. If that's the case, well then why is it necessary for the Torah to come and tell us in great detail about the construction of the Mishkan when Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't build it? And why is it necessary to go through great detail, telling us all about its construction, and the goblets, and the gold, and the flowers that would emanate and come out of this menorah? We don't have a shaykhs, we don't have any connection to its building. I think we can learn a very interesting idea, and that is, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is teaching us that we have to put in our hishtadlus. We have to go through the motions as if we are building it. But ultimately, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu really is in control. We're not in control of the building. We're in control of putting in our hishtadlus, of doing what we feel we need to do as if we are building. But our Hashkofa has to be that we are not building it. It's really emanating by just throwing it into the fire, and out will come something very beautiful, very special, the menorah. Though the obvious question that one has to ask is, why is HaKadosh Baruch Hu teaching us through the menorah this lesson? What's unique about the menorah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is teaching us? You put in your hishtadlus, but ultimately it's I, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who will ultimately build and create this beautiful instrument. I think that the answer is because it's the menorah that teaches us that ultimately it's all in HaKadosh Baruch Hu's hands. The menorah, the Chanukas, HaMishkan is also teaching us about the story of Hanukkah. After all, we know that Klal Yisrael fought a battle, and we might have thought that it's our own koach, it's our own might, it's our own strength that ultimately brought about this victory, that allowed the Kohanim to come and relight and rededicate the sanctity of the Beis Hamikdash. But it's not true. It wasn't us. It was us putting on the hishtadlus. But ultimately it was HaKadosh Baruch Hu who would bring victory to Am Yisrael. And we learned this idea of putting in hishtadlus, going through the motions, but ultimately coming out victorious through the menorah. It's the menorah that taught us this idea of HaKadosh Baruch Hu ultimately doing whatever is needed for Klal Yisrael to be successful. Have a good Shabbos.